Hello, and welcome back to 10 out of 10 Would Watch Again with Lauren and Ross.
Hello.
This week we are doing a modern classic, a staple in the McAllister household, and something a bit different from me being like, I watched this movie when I was a baby. This week we are doing Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Do you want to hit us with your part, Ross?
Aye, so it was released June 2018 in the UK, directed by Ari Aster, starring
Belgian.
Tony Collette, Gabriel
Coney
Byrne.
Tillett, aye.
Tony Collette?
I thought you said Coney Tillett.
Don't think I did anyway. Gabriel Byrne, Alex Wolff, and Millie Shapiro. Budget of 10 million and a box office of 82 million.
Only 82
Only
million?
82, aye. Right, come on, let's
God.
do it, let's do it. Get it done.
So, you can tell me if you agree with the general overview of the movie. Family has an absolute nightmare, absolute shannery of time with a bad luck. Turns out cults and demons are involved.
That's about right, aye.
Sounds about right. So, why do you love this film?
Tony Collette.
Every time I ask you, why do you love this movie in any episode, you always just start with a...
I don't
It's
know.
like, do you just hate
I don't know,
everything?
just like the movie.
It's just pure class.
That's a very good movie.
Yeah, everything about it's class. Like you're saying, Tony Collette with a woman, and like what a start for the bold boy Ari Aster. Like first,
A good first feature movie.
do you know what
aye.
I mean? I feel like it's set that we'll get into Ari Aster a wee bit later on, but I feel like Hereditary really that set the bar really fucking high. Do you know what I mean? And
Oh, aye.
we'll talk a bit more about him and whether he's been able to hit it. We'll dive into thoughts and opinions then. So, this is a really slow burn of a movie. Like, first time we watched it, I was quite bored for like the first maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. Maybe bored's not the right word actually, but like I wasn't gripped, I wasn't into it. I was checking my phone and all this kind of good stuff. But then I didn't realise how tense I was until it absolutely ramped up, and then I was like, why am I on edge? Why am I shitting myself right now? Do you know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
think, especially with horror movies, you're expecting stuff to happen, and like this starts off as like a drama,
Yeah.
like a drama family just breaking down,
Yeah.
and like it's in the background. You can sort like once you've watched it a couple of times, you can piece it together,
Totally.
but it's not really one that's you know what's happening. Like there's a cult, there's a demon, but
It's so much more than
you
that.
wouldn't know. Like,
No.
if you went out of this blind, I think this would like shock you.
Yeah, I think the thing with this movie is obvious. Now I understand it, but at the time when it was, because
I understand it.
shut
I understand this movie.
I understand film. But
They were twins. Oof.
shut up! Do not go back.
Can you believe they were twins? I got that.
I need the listeners to know that I have been ripped rotten for saying that for the past week. Anytime I think I'm dropping an absolute diamond,
Diamond.
every time I think I'm dropping an absolute diamond of information, Ross goes, "Oh, and they were twins." You arsehole. Anyway, what I mean is like I get it now, but at the time when it was coming out, I remember when the trailer came out and it was like, this is the modern day Exorcist. So we went in because we are huge Exorcist fans.
Huge.
Like, I didn't know, like, I thought going into it, I went in with higher expectations than maybe I should have. But I think this is definitely why it's a 10 out of 10 would watch again, is because you're getting something new from it every time. And I think
Oh,
maybe
you can pick something up. Aye.
totally. And I think on like second and third rewatch, I was like, I totally get why they've compared it to The Exorcist, because when you go back and watch The Exorcist, that is also a slow burn. Like nothing really happens for the first half an hour, 40 minutes of The Exorcist. Like wee bits happen. Like you see Pazuzu, she starts talking to Captain Howdy, and
all just
then
the build up for
exactly, and it's the exact same with this. Like basically, you're kind of plodding along, and then as soon as the car accident hits, you're just like, okay, like it doesn't stop. Like,
Oh, because I've got it here that for like a horror, like the first scare, if you will, there's an hour 27 in,
is that
and
how
that is
long
a
it
2
is?
hour 7 movie. So you're talking what 3/4 of the movie.
Yeah,
And that's before the first like typical scare would comes in.
totally. I do understand. Like, I think as well. I think you and me are sometimes guilty of like being in like a bubble of each other, like a soundboard, right? Because if we think something's good, we think something is good, do you know what I mean? And you cannot tell us any different. But
Yeah.
like my pal Martin, who does listen to this, so sorry Martin, I'm about to absolutely call you out. Like I was wearing your Hereditary t-shirt into my work one day, and he was like, "Oh my god, that movie's so funny, like so funny," and I was just looking at him like, "What?" And I did that
There's
pure
nothing funny about it.
no, I know, but I did that like pure nervous laugh thing of like, "Aye, they bother," and then he was, and then like we were talking about it more, and he was like, "I just wanted it to be scarier," and I was like, I get that. I do. Like, I get when you watched it, and obviously it's been advertised as like the most terrifying movie of the year, blah, blah. I understand
I
that you're
saw
going
these
in.
fucking sites though that say this.
Yeah, yeah,
They say
yeah.
it about every movie. It's
Yeah.
just to get them in, but none of Ari Aster's. Well, this Midsommar is horror, that folk horror type thing.
Midsommar's another one,
But
though.
they're not meant to be scary. Like
Mid-
not in that sense
No,
anyway.
no, totally. Midsommar's another one, though. It took me a couple of watches to like love it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the first time I watched it, I liked it, but I think that's just because I love Florence Pugh and I will be at the opening of an envelope if she's in it, right?
Aye.
But like the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's alright. But I wasn't fucked. And then I went back and watched it again and was like, right, okay. And then when I watched it the third time with my pal, he'd never seen it before, and I was like, we have to watch Midsommar.
Yeah, yeah.
And he loved it straight away, but it took me till the third viewing to be like, this movie is class. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we're tangenting. I think as well though, with this movie, like Ari Aster he's a good background guy, if you know what I mean. Like there's what's happening in front of you, but there's always something looking out in the background, which is another reason of why you can return to this movie so many times.
Aye.
Like obviously now on like I don't even know how many rewatches we are on it.
Oh fuck, we've
But-
seen this so many times.
Like I'm still picking things up. Like obviously when it's the Grand's funeral at the start, when you look in the background, no one's looking at the coffin. Everyone's
Yeah,
looking
so
at Charlie.
yeah,
Nobody's looking at anybody else. There's obviously the payment symbol shows up in like wallpapers and benches, very
Aye,
obviously, and the telephone, is that telephone line where she loses her head?
I imagine
And-
so. Aye.
See, even as well, I know when Payman's in, it's that kind of like laser light that goes through the room, but there's all these wee kind of subtle blue flashes,
Yeah, yeah.
like
Aye,
throughout
when
them,
stuff happened in
totally,
it,
and like it's every rewatch I'm finding something else that I'm like, oh, I never clocked that, and then I sound like a pure dick because I'm turning around and being like, Ross, did you notice that? Like,
yeah. Big flashing blue light.
shut up, you tart. It was only this rewatch that I clocked it was Charlie's head and the Payman figure.
Aye.
Spoiler alert, guys. I mean, to be honest, why are you listening to this episode if you've not seen the movie? Do you know what I mean? Bolt. But like,
Don't say that. We need people.
yeah,
to
true. Actually,
listen.
don't bolt. Please stay. But like, obviously, Charlie loses her head, and Charlie is the younger sister, is allergic to nuts, has an allergic reaction at a party, is in the car. Peter, the brother, says, "Roll the window down, Charlie." Charlie sticks her head out the window. Boof! Hits a telephone line. Beheaded.
Well, he drives her into it.
Well, he doesn't know she's hanging out of it. Like, he just sees, was it like a deer in the road or
Aye,
something?
I think so. Aye.
And he, like, swerves, doesn't he realise his sister's head's full out, and then it's like, all you hear is like splat, and then it's like silence for 10 minutes, and you're just sitting there like, oh no. Like,
Yeah, I've got that here. Like, how?
no.
How do you feel?
No.
Like, what the fuck?
No.
What do you do in that situation?
No.
Like, there's-
No.
It must be like the feeling like hopelessness. But like, fuck.
It's the fact though, like when you're watching the movie, like Ari Aster leaves you in silence
Yeah.
with him. Like for a good solid 10-15 minutes, you're
Aye.
sitting in silence just watching Peter, Alex Wolff, 10 out of 10 in this film. But you're just watching him be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, there's
and on
nothing. There's that. It would just be that feeling of you would
Mhm.
just be hollow. Like, oh fuck.
there's so many bits in this movie that I like nervous laugh through. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
aye.
Like, I'm like I'm glad that like we can watch this from home, because I remember we went to see it and I was sitting there trying not to laugh, like not in any type of way. It was just like, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah.
Like,
So it's just there's a whole load of feelings like that you get in it. Like you have that scene, obviously,
mhm.
but then you have like there's a lot of awkward scenes where you feel like, especially the interactions between like the mum and Peter.
Oh my
You're
god,
like, she's very cold towards him even before like that
anything's
scene.
happened. Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
she seems very distant, and that's why like there's not a lot of explanation in this movie.
Mm-mm.
There's like
You kind of pick up what you
aye,
pick up, kind of
like
thing.
you can kind of see the way her mother treated her through the
Yeah.
miniatures and all that.
Yep.
As I was it a life story, or whatever it's called, for
Yeah.
the gallery.
In the miniatures, like, there's like a bit where Charlie's just been born in the miniature Tony. It shows like a depiction of like Tony Collette trying to breastfeed Charlie, and the grandma has her
Yeah.
breast out, being like, "I'll do it." So there's all wee hints like that. I mean, never mind as well, just the opening bit at the funeral of just like, my mum was difficult.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yes.
They don't.
Like,
It doesn't really go into a lot of detail about all this
Mhm.
stuff. It just blaze it out there.
yep. And it's for you to kind
Yeah,
of pick what you
like
pick,
you can
kind of
try
thing.
and pick up what you can from it.
Yep, 100%. Off the back of what you've said, like, see how you're saying, obviously, when they are interacting, it's really awkward and it's really
Uh-huh.
cold. Like, for this being, like, obviously the movie's about this family, like, falling apart, obviously, like, well, there's
Yeah.
tragedy, but the whole way through the movie, they're very, like, solitary. Like, Toni Collette's in her workshop doing her thing.
Uh-huh.
Alex Wolf's at school doing his thing. Charlie's drawing. What's her name again? Millie
Millie
Shapiro. She's drawing, doing her thing, and Gabriel Byrne is the most passive dad ever.
Aye.
But like the whole movie's just them doing their own thing. But then when they get together, that is when like bad things happen. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when any two characters interact with each other, it's really awkward, and not in a bad way. I just mean like obviously like they're just all total dicks. Like
Yeah, I want to know what caused that before. Do you think it was maybe because obviously the mother ended up living with him
yeah.
and could have just been a fucking a fractured family already?
Well, I mean, like from what you again, like you pick up loads of different things from the movie. Like obviously Toni Collette, I can't even remember her character's name. I'm just like, you are Toni Collette. You are
No,
great.
it's Toni Collette.
Like,
aye.
you are great. Toni Collette obviously tells that bit. I can't remember who it is she's talking to. Oh, is it Joan? When she's like, "Oh, I used to sleepwalk, and one time I was sleepwalking, and I was covered in petrol, and so was Peter and Charlie, and he woke up at the sound of the match, and he's never forgiven
Yeah.
me." But like, there's nothing of like this is a bad relationship, because it's like you find out tiny tidbits throughout the movie that you're like, "Oh my god, yous are awful," and then obviously like Toni Collette spends a good amount of time talking about how she had a really difficult relationship with her mother. Her mother was distant. It was DID, disassociative. What's it called? Disassociative. It used to be called
multiple personality.
Yeah,
aye.
it used to be called that. Now it's got a new name. But then it's like you find out it wasn't multiple personality disorder. It's like big payment for the cult. The cult is like such a tiny bit of this movie, but see when it's like revealed. I mean, I say revealed. It was hinted at the whole way through the trailer, but like when it's revealed that it is a cult, it's like the penny drops. Do you know what I mean? You're like, oh, right, okay.
This is, I was going to say though, is do you think the relationship being that strained is because of the cult, or it's just like because she said she didn't want him?
Yeah.
Is it-
Oh my god, see that scene? I never wanted to be your mother. I gasped. I gasped every time. Every time we watch it, I know it's coming.
Yeah.
And every time she's like, I never wanted to be your mother, and she covers her mouth, and I'm like, oh, you bitch. Like,
Yeah, but like, I don't think that would be the cult's doing. I think I just really don't think she was a good mother.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I don't know. So I kind of had it in A, but I took it out my A's because the movie kind of explains it. Like, literally, the first A I put down was, how do you not realise your mum's in a cult? But she says it. She's like, my mum was really distant. It was only when she got ill, she came back into our lives. She always favoured Charlie. She was never
Yeah.
really asked about Peter. Blah, blah, blah. And it's all like these wee kind of bits. I think as well because, like, so, not to get all, like, therapizing, but, like, Toni Collette goes in about how her mum was, like, distant and cold and stubborn, which explains me, like, at the start of the film, in the funeral speech. And it's like, she's so repressed the whole movie,
Yeah.
Toni Collette. Like, and it's just, genuinely within, like, the last hour, 45 minutes to an hour, that's when she goes fucking mental. And it's like, but you see it like the whole way, like she's always got a hand on her chest, she's always like
Yeah,
she never
always
wants
like
to go in.
banging in on herself. Yeah.
And it's like she's obviously really repressed for like the ma and the mum being really overbearing with the kids and whatever. But like, and I'm not being funny. I mean, I'm going to talk about Gabriel Byrne in about 5 minutes, so let's just start there now. Like, he is the most passive I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's
like,
almost as if he's not interested.
absolutely not. Like, I had down about Gabriel Byrne, like, this is the most like quiet performance I've
Yeah.
ever seen him. Like, normally Gabriel Byrne is like balls to the wall
Fucking
mental
out
in
there,
movies.
aye,
Yeah,
aye.
yeah. And like this was like he didn't have a lot to say, and he just kind of had to be like the calm kind of anchor while everyone else was going mental. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, he's really good in it, but like the most passive
But he doesn't really show like
affection.
aye, that and like Toni Collette has gone through a graft.
Yeah.
Like obviously her daughter's died, her mum's just died.
Yep. Within like a month of
Yeah,
each
then
other.
when like Toni Collette starts going mental,
Let's have seances.
they're
and shit.
like
Yeah.
he's just like, no, this has to stop. Is it? Get her help.
Yeah.
Like get her fucking
Get
help.
her a grippy sock holiday.
By the time he says it, it's too late. Is it?
Yeah.
You should have been seeing how she was doing long before that.
The fact that she like smashes up our like studio and all that, and
That
she's
she
like,
recreates the scene of her child's death, like
oh,
in miniature form, and
oh
he's
my
like,
god.
you shouldn't do that, is it?
He's-
You should be putting an end to that.
He's like, what's Peter gonna do when he sees that? Your wife has just detail painted
Yes.
your child's head. Like,
And even-
fucking get her away.
Even the bit was like, I don't blame him, and is it? Didn't ask if you blamed him. Just
yeah.
be like, nah, this has to stop, man. This is going too far.
Into like family therapy retreat.
Aye.
I understand. I remember when this came out and everyone was like, Toni Collette's amazing, and she is an absolute powerhouse in this film. But I totally get why everyone was raging that she got boycotted for an Oscar. Like, I know Oscars don't like horror movies. I know there's like a whole ass thing.
Yeah.
But her performance in this, it's not a horror movie performance. Like, this is a performance. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's putting in the graft. Do you know what I mean?
She's done the hard yards for this one.
And I totally think though, like, see we Alex Wolff, like, he matches her. Like, see, for all he's not got a lot to say, but it's all in his face. Do you know what I mean? Like,
very expressive.
they're all there for it.
Another thing I just want to add in is see like the way they filmed it, like with the open sets, like in the house. Like it's kind of just like mirroring the her miniature. Aye.
Yep.
It's almost like a play when they're in the house.
Totally.
And it's like you could just feel. I don't know. It just feels like it's live.
No,
And
definitely.
Like that was a good choice.
Oh, it almost feels like a play.
Well done, Harry. Understood the twins, by the way. Shut the fuck up.
Shut up. My name's Ross and I know it looks like a play. See as well, right? So obviously, like, the bit... Now, I'm going to go into this a bit later, right? But obviously, after the car accident when poor Charlie is beheaded, and you have about 50 minutes of silence watching Alex Wolff just like break down, right? The fact that he just goes in and leaves it for them to find, and it's like no one really talks about it afterwards. Like, obviously Toni Collette screams for about 10 minutes, right? But everyone's just kind of plodding along, and it's like, guys, this is really painful to watch. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I think that's the thing. It's a very like visceral movie. Look at me using big words, but like
visceral with twins.
It's a play. Don't you start me, you bastards. But I just mean like you're feeling everything they're feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think if you go into this movie thinking it's a horror movie, you're going to be disappointed. Not disappointed, obviously, but it only really gets quote unquote scary at like the end. Do you know what I mean? But I think if you go into this as like this is a drama thriller about a dysfunctional family, you're going to get so much more from it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't expect like hear about cults and demons or like straight from the get go.
No.
It's not. As I say, you need to wait an hour 27
Yeah.
before fucking anything remotely scary, if you will, happens.
See, so when Toni Collette meets Joan, big fucking Joan, right? So it later turns out that Joan was pals with Toni Collette's mum. They're all in the cult together, and Joan is basically being sent to like groom Toni Collette into letting Payman into the house, basically, right? And Joan meets Tony Collette in a car park, and she's like, "Oh my god, you'll never guess. I was at this seance the other night, and I spoke to my grandson, right?" And you can see Tony Collette being like, "Nah, I'm alright." And Joan's like, "No, mon. See if anybody invited me up to their gaff and been like, we're going to have a seance. It's an absolutely the fuck not from me. Get yourself the fuck." And it's the seance bit is so cool. It's so cool. Like, everything is obviously practical. There's not really any CGI in this movie, if at all. And it's like the candle goes out and then relights itself, and the chalk's moving itself, and her hair's blowing, and you can see that she's getting really freaked out. You're like, get the fuck out of here, man. What are you doing? Sitting in this random cow's apartment being like, "Oh yeah, mum will talk to your grandma." Fuck off.
If you're desperate,
fuck off. Absolutely not. I have not.
That's just you. You're a shite bag though.
No, I'm not fucking with that bad juju. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember that lassie I went to college with, right? True story or not, I don't know if she was talking shit or not.
So it's instantly not
no,
a true
no,
story.
No, right? Lassie...
My pal, I was at my granny's.
You fuck off. I swear to God, right? Lassie in my college was like, she did a seance with her cousins, right? And didn't smash the glass.
Here we go.
And all this shit happened. And
what happened?
Well, she just said loads of shit happened. She said, like...
You can't just say loads of shit.
She said there was, like, loads of banging, things were getting moved about the shop and all this, right? And then she said that she had to, like, look it up, and you have to, like, break the glass that you do a seance with to, like, release whatever the fuck you've brought into the house. And I swear to God, she told me that, and I was like, I already wasn't having a seance, but that's... get to fuck. Like, my sister bought us a Ouija board chopping board. That thing stays at the fucking back of the cupboard. Thank you so much, Lee, for the decoration. It looks great. Get fucked. Get away from that. Get absolutely away.
Was your college part did it in?
I mean, I've not spoke to her since college, and that was like, what, 2018? Do you know what I mean? Like, I hope you're doing well, doll. See how you were talking about as well, the dad, like you and me were saying, like, obviously Peter... I was going to say Peter Gabriel there. Gabriel Byrne.
Aye, Gabriel Byrne.
Sledgehammer. Like, Gabriel Byrne. Like, obviously he's so passive the whole way through the movie. And then the minute he does put the foot down and he's like, "Tony Collette, wrap your pish."
Aye.
30 seconds later he's on fire, and it's like, "Oh, here we go." And she does that mad face that I do a great impression.
Aye, oh no, you're bang on me. Spot on.
But it's like, you've just found... Sorry, like, I know we're jumping all over the shop here, right? But it's like, you've just found your headless, dead mother-in-law's bloated, rotting black corpse in the attic. Your wife is going absolutely tonto, like screaming, crying, melting down. You need to burn this. Your Wayne's in the bed for bashing his own head off a desk in school. And that's when you're like... What? But see, even when he says enough's enough, it just, do you know when you're watching it, it feels like you're watching a man who's just mentally checked the fuck out. Do you know what I mean? He's like,
but he's like that for the beginning.
Yeah, he's just like, "Nay, bother."
They were well getting divorced out of that mod, didn't they?
100% into it. That's like a we'll stay together for the kids.
Yeah.
The kids are grown up now, and somehow we're still together.
Aye, that's definitely. Like, he did not look like he wanted to be there.
I mean, would you?
Like, he was not a father helping his family.
I know for a fact, if I came up to you screaming and bawling, being like, "Ross, I've let some demon in the house, you need to burn this notebook," you would laugh me out the door.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "Don't talk utter shite." Like, I'm telling you, Ross, I swear, fuck off. Like,
aye. Don't use your rubbish, man.
See, when, obviously an hour and a half in, when shit goes mental, right? And like, Tony Collette becomes... I don't even know if it's like possessed by Payman, but something fucky happens, right?
Yeah, she goes rogue.
And she is on one. And she's like, and so like when Peter wakes up from having his nose broke, and she is like in the corner behind him, but it takes her a good 10 minutes to clock that she's in the corner.
You don't see it at the beginning.
Because it's like really dim and then goes out. It takes you a good 10 minutes to clock she's in that corner, and then I feel like you just clock, and then it closes into him, and then you see her fucking scarp along the wall. Fuck that. And then in the living room, she's on the ceiling, and then Frey Nowhere runs out the corner. Goodbye, cheerio. Absolutely not. I've seen this movie so many times, and I still shit myself every time she runs out that corner. And I do remember, so this was like ages, I guess it was like the second time we watched it or something, and we watched it before you went to night shift, right? We watched it before you went to night shift, and I was getting ready to go to my bed, and I heard our neighbours banging about, and I phoned you. I'm not afraid to admit it on the internet. I phoned you and was like, Ross, Tony Collette's coming for me. I need you to get home. And you laughed down the phone and hung up. You're a heartless bastard, Ross.
Yeah, how do I explain that to my work then?
Pure turning around your manager like, listen, my wife's a shite bag. I need to go home.
I'd have worked out well.
So earlier on, I'd said to you as well about like how we'll talk to Ari Aster. I will talk to Ari Aster. Here he comes. Talk about Ari Aster later on. Obviously, this was his straight out the bat movie. Like, what a bar to set. But then he's only really done the 3. Apparently, he's got 10 screenplays written and ready to go at any point if somebody will give him money.
That's no use to us.
I know.
Get him filmed.
So he's
Get it done.
Move, Ari Aster. So he's done Hereditary, Midsommar, and Beau's Afraid, right? How do you feel about the other 2? Are you a fan? Are you as big a fan?
Well, we've only watched Beau's Afraid once.
And I will never watch it again.
It was alright, but I felt it went on too long. It dragged a little bit.
It needed to be
edited.
See
the bit where it ends in the forest and they go through the full play thing?
Cut.
That was too long. What I liked about this is see the bits where it felt, oh, maybe this is going on, but then it completely changed. Like almost like changed genre. And is it right? I'm back in. Like not even the back in. Is it? I was never out, but it's more like right.
Don't spoil later categories.
Second wind.
Yeah.
Second wind in that, like, it's breathed like life back out of this movie. But Midsommar, I've only seen it once, but I didn't get the same feeling I got watching Hereditary the first time than I did with Midsommar, and I've just never watched it again.
I'll happily watch Midsommar again, my Ross. I liked Midsommar, but again, it took me a couple of rewatches to really like it, to really commit, because I feel like the first time I watched it, I was like, well, Florence Pugh was really good, do you know what I mean? And that was kind of what I took from it. It was like a good for her movie, do you know what I mean? Like, and then it was only like, but again, it was like a couple of rewatches. Again, you're noticing all the things in the background, you're noticing the wallpapers, you're noticing all this stuff, and like, I've not went back to Beau is Afraid the way I have with Hereditary and Midsommar. Like, Beau is Afraid, I've watched once and I will never watch it again. I don't have an urge to watch it again. That was the most like anxiety riddled movie I have ever seen in my life. Like, I know it's not exactly like Hereditary and Midsommar are relaxing watches, right? I knew what I was getting into. I say I knew what I was getting into, but you know what I mean? I knew this was going to be a look in the background, you're going to be tense, but I felt like Beau is Afraid was far too long a movie to be as anxiety riddled as it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I was like, I need a break here. Like, I need 5 minutes. Like, it was. To
me, it's not even that it was. I can't even explain it. It's just it was a weird movie, but then there was so much flung at you.
Yeah.
And it's that.
I remember it finished and you and me just sat in silence for about 10 minutes.
I was just sitting there being like, how, like.
What do you want me to say about that?
There's nothing, like, the end of it where he's having sex and that, and they thought he was going to die. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, not enough to keep me interested.
No, totally.
3 hours long. It's too long.
And it's too choppy and changey, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And I get that that's the point, right? But like,
it's maybe the way he feels in that, but some of it was just like, this is too much.
See the first 20 minutes of, oh god, we're on a tangent about Beau's Afraid now. But see like the first 20 minutes where it's like he needs to go to the shop, but in his mind it's like fucking Mad Max out there. Aye. Like, I get it. But I was like, that bit was really good. And then it immediately, I felt like the bit in the house when he wasn't kidnapped, but they kind of wanted him to stay in that house a bit too long. That went on too long. The tree bit went on too long. And then there's a whole bit with his ma, and then that fucking ending by bin. Like, it was too long a movie to fling you. I felt like I'd been through the ringer watching it. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I love that. I'm like, I've not been back. Fuck it, I'm not going back, right? I was like with Hereditary and Midsommar. Ari Aster, you need to win back my love. As if I've not been sitting there being like, he's amazing for the best 20 minutes.
Saying that, his next movie's got Joaquin Phoenix that in as well, so...
Is Joaquin Phoenix the problem? Well, no, because we like... See, to be fair though, right, Ross, I'm sorry, that's a right tangent. We're now on Joaquin Phoenix. But like, The Joker, we liked The Joker. Have we watched it since we went to the cinema? No. We put it on for 10 minutes and went, fuck this, and turned it off. Is The Joker good? So,
Right, no, we're not doing this. Right.
Yeah, anyway.
No, like, come on.
Sorry. Know how the last couple of episodes, now you're going to punch me in the face, right? To carry on the trend of the last few episodes, right? What happens next? What happens once this movie ends? Like, Payman has come to Earth. Well, Charlie as Payman has possessed the brother and has come to Earth, right? In the bear with me here, right? In the treehouse, all these naked old people are like, "Hail, Payman!" Right? Now, you're Payman, one of the 10 kings of hell, right? And you are now in this teenage boy's body. What's your first move? Like, do you go to school and try and like get the youth that way? Like, do you try and get all the pals in and smoke some green and be like, "Listen, guys, I've got this mad idea." Do you know what I mean? Or like, does he become like a creepy TV evangelist and get everybody in that way? Does he start a band and create a creepy cult in Portugal and then continue to sell out arenas everywhere? Tell me, Ross. I need to know.
I've said in every other one, doesn't matter. It generally doesn't matter. Just watch a movie for what it is.
I'm sitting here going, honestly, see when this movie went off and you were like, "You're being awful quiet." I was like, I am just thinking, this is what I was thinking about, Ross.
It's one of the things of hell. I'm pretty sure he can do what he wants.
Well, he's the king of hell, isn't he? Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. He can do what the fuck he likes.
one of these episodes, Ross, you're going to get on board with me,
No,
and you're going to have came out wrap your end of the movie. You're going to have went down a rabbit hole with me, Ross, and it's going to be great.
Aye.
It's going to be great. Do you have any more thoughts and opinions?
No, I've kind of went through everything that I've. So
Yeah, I think I'm
quite
the
happy
same.
with mine.
I think I'm the same. Will we jump into favourite scene?
Aye, go for it.
You go first. What's your favourite
Well,
scene?
I think we might have the same one, the dinner table scene.
Oh my god. What a fucking scene. Like, I've just pissed myself laughing the whole way through it. But like, just out of like awkwardness, do you know what I mean? Like, it's when, my god, it's when she's going off her nut, she's doing the whole like, nobody admits to anything, going on this tangent.
Yeah.
And then it's silent. And she sits back down to her dinner and the dad's at cool. And she's at cool. And Peter's still like death staring her, like eyes welling up. And it's like, she didn't want to go to that party, Mum. Who made her go to the party? I was like, oh, I felt that.
No, that's a brutal scene.
It's so brutal. Like, I remember we were watching it last night, and the two of us were just looking at each other like, ooh.
It's like the biggest fuck you can give to somebody.
Oh my god!
Is that she didn't want to go. You made her.
I mean, he's not lying. He's not wrong.
But
she didn't want to go.
Yeah, but he was lying.
But she didn't want to go.
Yeah, but it's not a school barbecue.
Yeah, true. He said it was a school barbecue. It was a house party. But then the mum was like, "No, Charlie, you're going." And it's like, she doesn't want to go. Why are you pure forcing her to the house?
Because I think she was kind of like a wee weirdo.
Yeah.
So I can understand why she's like, you need to go and make pals. But
she's a wee weirdo. Like, I'm sorry, when the pigeon hits the school or class window, right? She's sitting making this mad doll, which by the time she finishes the doll, you realise is doll Payman, right? Then a pigeon hits the window and the camera pans to scissors and she takes the scissors and cuts the pigeon's fucking head off.
Of course you'd be a wee weirdo.
What you did? That's why you're a weirdo. You're cutting pigeons' heads off and clucking.
Or could it be she's getting possessed by the king of hell?
Or she's just sitting going every 10 minutes. That's annoying as fuck.
She's getting possessed. She's been fucking groomed to be
the next king of hell.
Yeah, like, pretty sure she would be alright anyway.
Alright. Yeah, dinner scene meltdown was mine.
It's just good to watch it every time.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, it's just how cutting it is.
100%.
She think I finally got it off my chest, and that sentence he does, you're like, that's the ultimate gut punch 100%, you can fucking give somebody.
100%. But like, while they're both going off their nut, the dad's like, that's enough now. That's enough.
Yeah,
but like,
doesn't get involved as
no,
usual.
Totally. Like, no, he's not like shouting with them. Like, the two of them they're at 10. and
Yeah.
he is solidly at a 2. Do you know what I mean? He says, that's enough now. Sit down.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just doesn't want to deal with conflict.
absolutely not. I had the same. I had the dinner scene because, my God, I almost wanted to put the car accident scene not out of anything other than just see that 15. Do you know what? It's probably not even 15 minutes of quiet. It's probably literally 4 minutes. But fucking hell, like,
Yeah.
you are going through it with this wee guy because you're like, what the fuck
You
are
can
you
just
gonna
feel
do?
it, like, oh, this is going to
100%.
suck for you, big
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I also had just the end when Toni Collette goes fucking mental. Maybe, but I'm going to have that from when I have a specific time of this, right? I want from when not Peter Gabriel, Gabriel Byrne. How many times I called him
I
Peter
know,
Gabriel?
fuck's sake.
Gabriel Byrne. From when Gabriel Byrne goes on fire to right before she's sitting going
Yeah, the
to
piano
her
wire.
neck, the piano wire to the neck. That kind of took me out a wee bit. Not that it took me out a wee bit, but I was just like, can you stop staring at me while you're doing that? Do you know what I mean? But from literally there,
I don't
to,
know
like,
why they had to have her do that.
I don't.
But
I get
we
why
didn't make
they
it, so can't really.
listen. We are not Ari Aster.
Yeah.
I kind of get it because obviously Charlie is beheaded. Somebody's took a granny's head, and now her head needs to be given up. I don't.
Why?
I don't really. Well,
It doesn't really explain.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Ross. I'm gonna be straight up fucking honest with you. I was too scared to Google payment last night to see if heads had anything to do with it. I was too scared to Wikipedia. Don't you dare, Ross. Don't you Wikipedia that man right now. Don't do it. If you bring any juju into this house, I'll be raging. No, I was too scared to Google him. So maybe heads have something to do with payment. I don't know.
It must be.
Either had that. Yeah, no, that was me.
The only bit I found I was quite sure of that was the floating body. See when it floats up, I forgot that happened.
Yes, was that.
Oh dear.
That's the thing.
That doesn't look.
There is bits in this movie that I would change, but they're not big enough to take me out of the movie.
Oh, no,
Spoiler alert
far
for
from
later
it.
categories. Do you know what I mean? Like, but again, I do understand why there are maybe people that are a bit like, what the fuck is this film? Do you know what I mean?
If you go in expecting like a straight up horror, as I've said, that you're going to be disappointed.
100%.
Maybe they shouldn't. But then see when people are comparing to The Exorcist and they're like, oh, that's dead scary, is it? No, really.
The Exorcist, I think.
It's a good story.
Totally. And I think The Exorcist, see, because it's always in like the top 10 of like scariest movie ever. But
Yeah.
like it takes a while to get scary
Yeah.
because like you and me, like we I don't want to be like we watch all the time, but like we do watch it quite regularly. I'm scared to do The Exorcist on this though. But like it does take a while. Like, and I feel like every time we watch it, we're like, God, I always forget how long it takes
Yeah.
for things to really
Yeah,
kick off.
it doesn't kick into
Because
later on.
the
Like,
actual
early in the movie.
yeah, the actual exorcisms like the last half an hour of the film.
Yeah,
Do you know
aye.
what I mean? So I get it now being compared to that in the slow burn sense, but I think when you see the modern day Exorcist, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to shit my pants.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that. It's not that type
No.
of film. Do you want me to dive into useless information?
Aye, go for it.
God, I feel like I've not stopped talking, man. Next one, you're taking the lead, right? Okay, so for useless information, this was A24's fourth wide release film, which I had to look up because I feel like A24 was going on for ages. Like, they've been a thing since 2014, and I had to look it up to be like, is the internet lying to me? But no, like, all the other ones had been like A24 in partnership with someone or
right, okay.
or like small indie releases.
Yeah, yeah.
This was the fourth ever huge one.
Ah,
was-
I see.
Before it was like the Vivitch and all that. And the Vivitch is shite, and I wish people would realise that. So Gabriel Byrne and Alex Wolff already knew each other. They had played father and son, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like a TV hospital show, right? I can't remember the name of it now. So they played father and son when Alex Wolff was a kid. Alex Wolff and Millie Shapiro had also went to school together. They went to like the Gifted Children's School, right?
Special school with the maestro.
Shut up. So they all kind of knew each other. So Ari Aster kind of honed in on that and got the three of them to hang about all the time and leave. And so they were invited to set first. They were invited to rehearsals first, and they were given longer to kind of get chemistry together.
Right, okay.
And Toni Collette wasn't brought on until like the week before they kind of started filming, so that there would be that not divide but divide.
Yeah,
do you know
yeah.
what I mean? Of that, like obviously they're a lot more chill with each other than
I
they
get
are with
you,
Big
yeah.
Tony. The film was shot in 32 days. Like, madness what they got done in like a month.
A lot of it's in the house, isn't it? So I suppose if you got that set, you could just.
So there was like a lot of rehearsal before it, so that it could be shot in 32. Like, Tony Collette said that Ari Aster was like the most prepared director she's ever worked with, because he had. Ari Aster is a committed boy, right? He had like thick notebooks of like biographies about all the characters, about all the background characters. Like, he knew like the lore and mythology of his own movie. All of the practical effects people, they'd spent weeks working on, because he was basically like, we're making this as real as we can. So they had to kind of try and work out how to like make a candle light itself. And they had like all these magnets for like the chalk on the seance boards and all this kind of stuff. So they had spent ages like rigging everything while he's like prepping all the actors and all that. There was also a bit where he asked Alex Wolff and Millie Shapiro to go to dinner one time just as pals that have known each other since they were kids, and one time as in character, just so that they could clock the difference.
Yeah.
And like the first dinner, the two of them were just like, la la la, this is shite, blah blah blah, like, let's have a free dinner. And the second one, they were out for 4.5 hours. Millie Shapiro sat in silence, and Alex Wolff was like trying to make her talk, and she wouldn't talk. Fuck that for a dinner, by the way.
Hey, getting paid to go. Fuck
Here,
it.
free dinner.
Grand.
But Alex Wolff said it was like the most intense, and there was an interview with Alex Wolff where he said because Ari Aster had been so prepared and given them all so much material, he decided to try and be method, right? He'd like never done it before, and he was like, fuck it, this seems the time, right? So he like proper researched everything, like asked for the crew and everybody to call him Peter, to only treat him as Peter, and like did the whole thing. And then it was like on the last day, he went round to all the crew and was like, hello, my name's Alex, I'm not a dickhead, I'm actually really nice, I was just really trying to be with this film. But there's a whole debate on method acting going on right now, do you know what I mean? But we'll get into that at a later date. But I think he's really, really, really good in this movie. Like, he goes toe to toe with Tony Collette, in my opinion. The design team wanted to play with the idea of like sacred geometry, so like triangle, square, circle, obviously like infinity, groundedness, blah blah blah. So Annie, Peter, and Charlie are the Holy Trinity triangle. The family with Steve then go on to be the square, because Steve grounds them and all that good stuff. And then Ellen, the grandmother, makes the circle, the infinity, the cycle that they can't break. So all of the interior design includes the shapes and the symbols. So like the wallpaper is all like circles and triangles.
Aye.
The floorboards, there's like squares and all this in it. Even the prints on the wall all have like the kind of sacred geometry, as well as like hidden payment slogans. Not slogans. What's the, you know what I mean? His wee symbol.
Oh, right, yeah, I get
His slogan. You know
what the fuck? A logo?
Lose your head. His wee logo. They've got his wee symbol in it. So, but I thought that was really cool. So that just means on the next time we watch it, we can be looking at the wallpaper. Do you know what I mean? Watch us forget all about that and be watching it again. Be like, what? So the film was shot in Utah because Ari Aster was hugely inspired by the location in The Shining. Said that the views in the mountains of Utah were beautiful and idyllic, but incredibly ominous. And at night time, he was really scared. Like, he was really on edge, because obviously they were surrounded by trees and mountains, and he was like,
"Oh, did they wee trees scare you?"
Shut up. And listen, don't slag me, slag Ari Aster.
I'm not slagging you, I'm slagging Ari Aster.
I will go to war for that man, unless his next film's shite, and then he's in the bin. And then last bit, Toni Collette had told her agent that she didn't want to do any more emotional heavy movies, she wanted to do comedies. And then
well, she's done it and they've been shite. So
our comedies are terrible, man. And then apart from Muriel's Wedding, but that was like our first one, kind of, not our first one, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, that was it. The Mafia Mum and all that, or something it was called. Is it? It's not great, is it?
And she shows up in, what is that, Triple X3 or something like that she showed up in. She's
the,
like the
Turner's
FBI
and her
guy.
cage.
Aye, she must have needed her kitchen renovated or something.
That's a heavy money gig.
100%. So she'd asked her agent that she didn't want to do any more emotional movies. She only wanted to do comedies or like romantic comedies or whatever. And then she was given the Hereditary script and loved it so much. She was like, fuck it, I'm in. She's even one of the producers on the movie. She was like, yes, let's get this fucking movie made. So like 40 out of 10. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, good on her. Made the right choice there.
100. Oh, don't.
Fucking definitely made the right choice.
100%. 100%. That's the thing, is I was like trying to look up if anybody else was up for it, but like I couldn't find anything of like if anybody else had been asked. Like I feel like the script just got passed to Toni Collette and she was like, get the fuck out of my way, I'm in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
quite right.
Because I was trying to look up like who would have been the other ones up for it, but it just kind of seems that like they all knew each other, which is why they all kind of got the gig, if you know what I mean.
Makes sense.
So yeah, will we dive into A?
Aye, but I'll go first.
You please do, because I've not stopped talking for 20 minutes.
This one really annoying.
Oh god.
Now, I don't know why it annoys you so much, but they do not give a fuck about her allergies. Like,
Charlie's peanut allergy. Oh my god.
At the funeral, looking at her dead gran, whips out a bar of chocolate. We didn't bring the EpiPen. They better not have peanuts in it. And there's like 100%. So many times, even when she's at the school barbecue, if you will,
the party,
fucking getting wired into the peanuts,
like get into the cake, into the chocolate cake, and then she starts being like, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, like, if you have a nut allergy, like, I was saying this to you last night, like, surely you would, I mean, I don't really know the score with EpiPens, I don't know anybody with a nut allergy, actually I do, but I'll tell that story in a minute, but, like, you would have an EpiPen in, like, every bag, like, every single one, just in case.
Imagine they're quite expensive in America, but have one on you, like, that should be part of your, surely, like, right, got my keys, got my wallet,
I've got my EpiPen.
Got the EpiPen for the kid.
It never really says what age she is, though, but she seems to be, like, if he's in high school, she's, like, what, middle school? I mean, I don't really know how American schools work.
I don't know if it mentions her age. I can't remember.
Like, to me, it seems like, say he's in, like, 5th year, like, Scottish-wise. If he's in 5th year, she's in, like, 3rd year? 2nd year, 3rd year?
I would say maybe 13, 14.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get.
That's so, just like, a guess.
You're, like, obviously you're a wee fanny teenager, but, like, you should know, I could die if I eat nuts. But she just, and, like, him as well, he's just like, I go and have the cake. Your sister has a deadly nut allergy.
When she comes up, and he's obviously fucking high as shit.
Aye.
But is it, what's wrong with you?
And she's standing in the door pure.
Like, he must know, like, fuck, the peanuts.
100%. You fucking idiot. So I'd kind of said that one of my A's was like, what kind of denial do you have to be to not clock that you're mozzing a cult and grooming your wains? But it's kind of not really, but kind of like explained in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, obviously she's distant, but there's all this kind of stuff of like, oh, she's always preferred Charlie and all this kind of pish. But like, I don't know, man. I'm still pure like, how do you know clock? Like, see the box of like mum stuff. Now she doesn't really go through it until the last 20 fucking minutes when she clocks. Oh, look, this pal that I had, Joan, is actually my ma's best pal.
Yeah.
And look at all these weird photos of my ma getting coins chucked on her while there's a family photo of us on an altar. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like you'd have looked through that sooner. I'm a nosy bastard. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, what are you up to?
Didn't have a good relationship with her mum.
No,
just died. Probably don't want to. It makes the movie go forward, I suppose.
Yeah, basically the whole movie just has mummy issues ripping right out of it.
Why wasn't she in it, though?
Why was Toni Collette not in the cult? Because it's boys. It needs to be boys.
Yeah, but there's women in the cult.
No, but like they want boys to be payment. Like that's why they correct Charlie. Like, so obviously Charlie's a lassie, but like they were like, oh, Peter couldn't hack it, so they get Peter's soul to leave his body so that Charlie as payment can enter it, and they're like, oh, we've corrected your female body and all that.
That was good for the next
one.
Why wasn't Peter the chosen one?
Because he was a bit of a dick, wasn't he? He was a bit of a wimp, like a bit of a wallflower. Well, and then do you think?
Why would it matter? If payment's going to take you over, surely that'd be better.
Yeah, true. I wonder if it's got something to do though with like obviously it's a dream when Toni Collette says it. Well, you find out it's a dream when Toni Collette says it. But I wonder if it's that Toni Collette never wanted to be a mum. Like when she's like, I never wanted to be your mother, and she talks about how she's tried to have a miscarriage and all that.
Yeah.
Do you think she's done that because she knows her ma's a nutter? or do you think she's like? Do you
Just
think
their
it's
childhood. But like, oh fuck, I can't. I'm
yeah?
not
Fuck
doing that
this.
to my own kids.
Yeah. Because, like, I wonder if that's got something to do with it, though, because obviously it's very heavily implied through miniatures and through, like, little tidbits through the movie that obviously Charlie was the favourite and Charlie was the granny's
Especially with the
favourite.
gran, yeah.
And so, like, I wonder, I mean, I don't know. Phone up Ari Aster and ask him, but I wonder if it's, like, because Toni Collette wasn't buzzing to have Peter, if maybe it's like well, I'm ready for my second one now. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
There must have been some, like, obviously some reason, but as I say, in this movie, it doesn't give you a lot of.
No.
Like,
you just need to try and, like, piece it together yourself, because we were even watching, like, those mad YouTube videos of, like, explain the ending and all this kind of thing, and even they were like, yeah, you're on your own. Do you know what I mean?
Nobody's gonna know, I suppose.
Yeah. See as well, off the back of you saying they really don't take her nut allergy seriously, right? So I've got an A of, like, how many other better ways were there to handle her nut allergy at that party than not fucking behead your sister? Do you know what I mean? Like, could nobody have phoned an ambulance? I understand you're at a party with loads of underage people, there is drink, there is drugs involved. But you could literally just shout out and be like, Troops, my sister's fucked, I'm phoning an ambulance, hide your shit or leave. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's other ways to do it without you being like, I ain't bother, I'll just grab my sister. Because that house looks at the back fucking nowhere. And why are you driving along this silent fucking road?
How well do you think that went? Everybody stop this party. That my sister that I've brought here,
who didn't want to come and who just got beasted out of your
I've
cake.
just forced into this party.
Aye.
Like, needs an ambulance. They're like, get yourself to
I realise we're all high as fuck and we're all steaming, but you're all need to bolt.
You would be told, no, you need to go. We're staying here.
Yeah, but, like, you would think you would, like, phone an ambulance, like, meet you halfway. You'd be like, right, I've got my sister.
Aye, hold on, I'm at this house party. I'll meet you halfway down the road.
Like, but, like, I don't know, like, you'd phone an ambulance and be like, I'm driving my sister. She's having a pure badging on the nuts. Like, I need
to... Yeah, baked titties tits.
Aye, true.
Underage.
True.
Like, obviously, no age to hang your tits, like, baked out your tits, but...
I thought you no age to hang your tits.
So the police need to get involved.
Yeah, true.
No, you're not.
But there's no way.
See if you're ever at a party, someone just say, stop the party, we need to I'll be like, no, we need to go.
Yeah.
Like,
we did that. We were at a party where something like that happened,
so
and we fucked off.
So why didn't we just, hold on, everybody stop, an ambulance is coming?
They did.
Yeah, we fucked off, Lauren.
Well, they said, we'll phone an ambulance, and we just went, cool, bye.
Yeah.
Like that sounds,
that wouldn't happen.
Out of context, that sounds like super deadly.
Keep it like that.
Right,
that's
okay.
fine.
Are we going to sound like dangerous and interesting?
No, well, we fannies.
But, like, I don't know, like, I would rather be slagged and called a dickhead than, behead my sister and put my family through fucking torment.
The thing is, Lauren, I know you're saying that, but nobody would stop. They're not going to stop drinking and smoking and all that.
All right. But
it didn't stop us.
That is true. That's absolutely true.
Come on.
We left that party and we're like, drink it, Ross.
Like, come on, that's not going to...
See as well, I was like, I don't actually know anybody with a nut allergy. My pal Jack in work has, like, a minor nut allergy. So, like, he can eat a Bueno and just have, like, a scratchy tongue. But he was like, if I was to eat a whole jar of Nutella, I would just be really uncomfortable for 4 hours. And I was like, then don't do that. Like, there was a day where somebody brought in donuts and he'd eaten a Nutella donut and then was like, I'm allergic to nuts, and then he, like, disappeared for 20 minutes, and, like, everyone was like, where the fuck is Jack? And then it was like, he came back and he was like, oh, I'm pure fine, relax. And it's like, don't lead with the fact that you have a nut allergy, and then it turns out it's fuck all. Like, just going back to Peter's delinquent behaviour of smoking that dirty marijuana, right? See, when he's smoking the bong in his room, now this pisses me off in every movie. Every single fucking one that has this in it, right? I don't care how big your house is. I don't care how many windows you've got open. Your ma and dad are going to smell that. Do you know what I mean? And he's sitting just blowing the smoke out the window as if there's no another open window. But again, like, it just shows that they're doing everything solitary and they're not really giving a fuck.
Yeah,
because
nobody's going to question them on it.
you can smell green from a mile off. Do you know what I mean? I was like, your mom and dad are just, they're terrible parents.
Yeah.
I was going to say about the seance and about how you just wouldn't go. Like, but we've already spoke about that and you told me that I was talking shit.
Yeah, people do it.
No, freaks. Like, I don't actually have, I mean, I know we've just sat and talked about it, but I don't really have a lot of A's for this movie.
Nah.
Like, this movie is pretty bulletproof in my opinion. In my humble
Yeah,
opinion.
it's just minor things.
100%. Who's your worst guy whose hairline's receding?
His pal. Stoner pal.
Who's pal?
Peter's pal.
What, the wee
Just
blonde
for
guy?
Just for the text, bring your dick. Like,
Wait, what?
when he's at the window smoking weed, he gets a text. There's a little party tomorrow night, bring your dick. And I was like,
Oh,
off.
fuck off.
I have never ever heard anybody say that or seen that text.
See, if I ever got a text from anybody being like, party the morning, bring your dick.
I'd delete them.
Instant block and delete.
Aye.
Like, this friendship is over.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's very... Nah, fuck that.
No. Well,
That's not a pal you want.
No. I actually have Peter as my worst guy whose hairline's receding, right? Bear with me. Come down this road with me, right? So, obviously, takes his sister to a party he wasn't supposed to be in, right? Or she didn't want to be there. Not allergy. Didn't handle that the right way. Could have phoned literally any cunt, right?
That he couldn't have, but okay.
Right. Sees the deer, swerves, has the accident, sister's beheaded, head is on the road. He's just sitting there for 20 minutes like, what the fuck am I supposed to do, right? Drives home, leaves the head on the side of the road. I'm not saying go out and pick up your sister's head, but go out and pick up your sister's head. Then
What?
shut up. Right? Then, no, listen to me. No, we're still on the road, Ross. We're still on the road, right? Then drives home, leaving his sister's headless body in the back seat of the fucking car, goes up and goes to his bed. And then just the next morning, hears his mom and dad running about, and then just hears his mom screaming. Why did you not go in and be like, Mom, Dad, please wake up, Charlie's dead? Like, I'm not saying that.
What?
I don't know how I would...
This is one of the worst takes I've ever heard.
No, it's not. He's a fucking dickhead. Like, you would fucking warn somebody, you would phone somebody, you would be like, oh my God, I've killed my sister by accident. Do you know what I mean? You would not leave. Yes, you would not leave your sister's headless body in the back seat for your mom to get in the motor the next day to go to her work and shit herself. Tell me I'm wrong.
Right.
Where
So,
was the diversion on this road?
This happened, right?
Oh, so we've come to the end of the road now, haven't
This happened, right? So you're picking up the head.
Well, you don't have to pick up the head.
You just said you would pick up the head.
I don't know if I would want to pick up my sister's head.
Exactly.
But that's the thing, right? You and me both have sisters. Fair play, we're both the youngest, right? Now, if I I've got two sisters though, so I could behead one and still have one. Do you know what I mean? I've got a spare. But like, kidding on. But like, if I was in an accident where my sister was beheaded, I'm not saying I would go out and pick up the head, but I would be fucking phoning somebody. I'd be like, by the way,
understand
something
that,
horrific's happened.
But then, who do you phone?
Literally any cunt. Phone the police, phone your ma, phone anybody. Literally anybody. Take the bollocking for being out your tits, right?
Or I think Jock's just a bastard of a thing.
Obviously.
Aye.
Obviously.
Could that be why you done all that?
Now, shock is a terrible thing, right? But you do not leave your sister's headless body in the back of the motor for your ma to find the next day.
I get that, but what do you do with it then? This is what we said
You
about.
You shout your ma, you phone your ma and be like, Ma, something horrific's happened. Because you're going to get blamed for it anyway, so you might as well just be like,
you phone us
well.
and, by the way, come here, you're going to find your daughter's fucking... It doesn't matter what any way it happens on, it's not good.
This is the thing, but this is the thing, right? It's like, you're fucked either way. Like, you're going to get a bollocking off of your ma or the police for being out your tits on, like, weed or drink or whatever the fuck he was doing. You're obviously going to get a bollocking for murdering your sister by accident, right? You're going to get a bollocking for being irresponsible, blah, blah, blah. Why would you, like, there's no way this situation is going to get better. You might as well just fucking dive in. The water's warm, do you know what I mean? Like...
you starting with, you would pick up a head. No, you fucking wouldn't. You wouldn't. I know for a fact you fucking wouldn't, yes.
Me personally? Oh, no. Well,
you would do exactly what he done.
I wouldn't leave my fucking headless sister's body in the motor. Plus one, it would never happen to me because I can't drive.
And that's
Get
probably
up,
more likely it would happen than you fucking idiot. I'm thinking more, he's done that so he doesn't have to tell anyone. He's not trying to hide it. It's just, well, now could you imagine going to your parents and be like, by the way, I've just killed my sister? How do you approach that?
Do you think it's like that thing now when you were a kid and you were like sick in the middle of the night, you had to stand there and be like, Mom, at
No,
the door and
it's
hope
just
they woke
more-
up. Like,
It's a conversation you can't have.
Something happened to Charlie.
It's a conversation you can't have.
No, but like, well, I don't know. Hopefully none of us accidentally beheads our sister. Neither of us can drive, so I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But like, you need to do something. You can't just leave the body in the back of the motor
He done something by doing nothing.
by just going to his bed.
Like,
And just being like,
because it's
"Hey, bother."
inevitable that it's going to come out.
No, I know, but like, this is why Toni Collette goes off her nut later on, because she's like, nobody accepts responsibility for anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, now,
The thing
he
is,
throws it back in her
he
face.
never denies it.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's like, it's well known that it's not that he caused it. I mean, she did stick her head out for the dirty.
Yeah, she didn't
Like,
really
it was a
need to
freak
go
accident.
full
It was nobody's fault.
No, 100%.
But-
I'm not saying.
But he like, there's no point that they were, I didn't do it. Do you know
no,
what I mean?
it was an accident. But really, my fucking point here is, why have you left the body in the motor for your ma to find? Like, the fact that you have just went up and went into your bed and just left that body. Like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's just the shock.
no,
That's
but
all
fuck
it is.
shock. Like, what? Like,
What do you
you're
mean,
an
fuck shock,
arsehole.
Lauren?
You're an arsehole.
I've seen you scared go to the bathroom after a scary movie.
That was one
I would
time.
hate to see
That
you.
was one time.
Hate to see you in a situation like that.
That was one
You're
time.
going to be phoning your mom up, by the way, you're never going to guess.
Linda, guess what?
Aye. Fuck's
I've been
sake.
trying to phone you like, hey Ross,
Aye.
I've done something bad.
I don't see it happening then.
No. Do you know who I would do? I would phone Lee and then it would
I'd
fucking
be
end.
like, you're beheaded.
Aye, but it's alright, I've got Carol. I've phoned Carol. Carol,
Aye.
leave him in the house. I've done something bad.
Fuck's sake.
Well, anyway, I think my point stands.
Aye.
Fuck Peter. He's the worst guy who's here. Like, just
Fair
um,
enough.
do you have anyone who's in a different movie?
See the Stoner group? I mean, they're in it for like one scene.
Yeah.
Like, is it that just the scene under the bleacher bit's just a bit?
That's just to show though, because obviously that's him when he's starting to like have the throat.
No, I get it,
No,
but
I
I'm also
know.
like, it's just the three of them. They're just,
They're all just talking about lasses on Facebook where he's like fucking
Yeah.
can't breathe, and it's
Then
like,
is it
why
hold-
can't you breathe, Peter? Is
Aye.
it Charlie starting to possess you? Yeah, 'cause you're a
then is it,
shaker.
hold my hand. I'm
Hold
like,
my hand.
they wouldn't be like, I no bother.
No. I had Joan. I thought Joan felt like she should have been in like the Partridge Family or like a Stepford Wife thing. Like, she was far too jolly.
Yeah.
But again, I'm clutching. Like, I feel like everyone in this
It's
movie
just
was
a
perfectly
brainwashed
cast.
cult, isn't
but
it?
legit. She's just
Brainwashed
her
cult
wanting about
member.
like, well, I will true actually Stepford Wives is the same, isn't it? Do you have anything for I'm Out?
No, I've mentioned it before. Just as you feel it's starting to thing you on, it just totally changes.
No, 100%. You're
Turns
not.
out a mad horror survival thing.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't think of anything.
I'm the same. Like, see as well. Like, there's not really any point where you can be out because, like, there's always something like a wee tidbit that you're like, that may come in handy
yeah.
later. Yeah, no, I'm the same as you. There's not really anything that I'm out for apart from just the headless Toni Collette flying up the ladders. But you know,
That kind of takes you out it, but it's only a fucking 2 second scene. It's not as if
yeah,
like you're already 2 hours in. You're not going to be like, right, turn this off now.
yeah, fuck that, yeah. No worries. Well, this has been our Hereditary episode. I'm actually going to put a poll up on Instagram for next week's pick, because I think it's between another like shit movie or like another action movie. So I'll put a poll up on Instagram, and if you want to vote, winner decides what next week's episode is. But
Yeah, it is.
there's one that I kind of hope that it is, but then again, I'm like, we've done a couple of Shanners in a row, but
Yeah, we do.
I really want it to
They
be
can't
this
like
one.
the shite ones. Would you?
No. but the shite movies are the best 10 out of 10, so watch again.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for listening again. Keep an eye out for our Instagram. We're going to get a wee poll on the go, so that's 10 out of 10 would watch again. And we'll see you next week for whatever the public vote is. Cheers, bye!
Bye.
Hail, Damon.